We want to support this sector. We want the world to recognize that culture is not just caught in the crosshairs here in Ukraine, but that culture has come under deliberate, concentrated attack, that this is an effort to erase Ukrainian identity.
We have been incredibly moved by what we've seen and the people that we've talked to. We've been profoundly inspired by their resolve and their resilience.
We received incredible support from our foreign partners this year. The international book fairs were first to support us and invited Ukraine to participate in the fairs for free. At the same time, the organizers refused Russian publishers to participate in the international book fairs.
Hello and welcome to Ukraine in Flames, a special project by Ukraine Media Center and NGO Euro-Atlantic course. I'm your host, Varvara Shmugalyova. In today's episode, we'd like to continue talking about Ukrainian culture under the Russian attack. In particular, we will approach the topic of literature, Ukrainian books. Language and culture are the key components of national identity, and for centuries, Russia, in the form of an empire or Soviet Union, has continuously attempted to eliminate Ukrainian identity. The cultural genocide began with Tsar Peter I, who in 1720 issued a decree banning book printing in Ukrainian language and removing Ukrainian text from church books. In 1729, Peter II forced to rewrite all normative acts of the Russian Empire from Ukrainian to Russian, thus displacing the Ukrainian language from law and administration. In 1804, Emperor Alexander I banned all existing Ukrainian language schools. This led not only to the threat of the survival of the language itself, but also to the degradation of the Ukrainian-speaking population, primarily the peasants. In 1876, Russian Emperor Alexander II signed a secret order on the complete ban of the Ukrainian writing. The decree supplemented the main provisions of the earlier circular of 1863, aimed to displace the Ukrainian language from the cultural sphere. And the oppression continues into the 20th century. If you want to find out more about this subject, please continue watching this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our videos in the future. To start, please welcome Suzanne Nossel, Executive Director of PEN America.
Thank you very much for having us here at the Ukraine Crisis Media Center. We're part of a delegation by PEN America of visiting writers who have come here to Kyiv to express solidarity to our Ukrainian counterparts. We work very closely with Ukrainian PEN and have been supporting them as they have valiantly helped to protect writers and to document abuses against culture over the last 9 months. And so we're here to stand with them in solidarity, to bear witness to attacks on culture, and of course to release our report entitled Ukrainian Culture Under Attack, Cultural Erasure in Russia's War Against Ukraine. This report is a comprehensive look at how culture has come under assault, at cultural erasure as both a motivation and a method of war here against Ukraine, at the importance of recognizing the full spectrum of attacks on culture. It includes, of course, bombings of buildings and museums and in cultural institutions and the libraries that have been devastated and destroyed. But it also goes beyond that physical infrastructure to affect individual cultural producers, writers, artists, videographers, translators, poets who have in some cases lost their livelihoods, in some cases been forced to flee, in some cases had to put down their pens to take up arms and become part of the resistance to save their country. And so for us as an organization that stands for freedom of expression and literary community and fraternity around the world, we want to support this sector. We want the world to recognize that culture is not just caught in the crosshairs here in Ukraine, but that culture has come under deliberate, concentrated attack, that this is an effort to erase Ukrainian identity. And we see this in occupied areas going back to 2014 and over the last 9 months, that where Russia has occupied, it has removed Ukrainian books from the shelves, it has replaced Ukrainian textbooks in schools, insisted that the language of instruction for education be Russian. And this is an effort to negate Ukrainian identity. And Ukrainian identity is fundamentally what is at stake here, and that is intimately intertwined with culture. And so Ukraine's survival depends on the survival of its culture. And we've called on, in this report, the international community to recognize that these crimes against culture constitute human rights abuses. They constitute war crimes. There's basis in international law to prosecute these crimes, and we've spelled out what tools and mechanisms can be referenced, what international instruments are implicated. And we hope this is a call to action, both to redouble the resources to preserve and sustain Ukrainian culture, not just the cultural past, but the cultural present and the cultural future, and to ensure that those who've mounted these attacks on culture are held accountable.
Following, please hear from Dave Eggers, American writer, publisher, and human rights defender.
My colleagues, Peter Godwin and Barbara Demick, and I are honored to have been asked by PEN America to come to Kyiv this week to meet with Ukrainian writers, poets, translators, human rights activists, lawyers, investigators, those documenting human rights abuses, abductions, kidnappings, murders, and also the wide-scale attempted destruction of the Ukrainian culture. We have been incredibly moved by what we've seen, and the people that we've talked to, we've been profoundly inspired by their resolve and their resilience, and we are determined to do all that we can to support their work and amplify their work, to give it a platform in the English-speaking world, and to never forget and never turn away until the struggle ends and victory is achieved.
And last but not least, please hear from Olena Odynoka, Acting Deputy Director of International Cooperation of the Ukrainian Book Institute. She will talk about Ukrainian books and their authors, publishers, exhibitions, and other achievements in the industry.
Hello, my name is Olena Odynoka, and I'm the Acting Deputy Director for the International Cooperation of the Ukrainian Book Institute. And today I want to tell you a bit about the international support of the Ukrainian book industry. First of all, it should be said that the Ukrainian Book Institute's budget was sequestered this year, and instead of 11 million euros planned for the Institute activities, a budget of 300,000 euros for the salary fund had left. Two of our colleagues were drafted into the armed forces of Ukraine to protect our country from Russian invaders. We received incredible support from our foreign partners this year. The international book fairs were first to support us and invited Ukraine to participate in the fairs for free. At the same time, the organizers refused Russian publishers to participate in the international book fairs. Together with our Ukrainian partners and with the support of Ukrainian embassies abroad, the Ukrainian Book Institute took part in the leading world book events, such as Frankfurt Book Fair, London Book Fair, Bologna Children's Book Fair, Festival du Livre de Paris, Book Fair in Warsaw, Prague Book Fair, Göteborg Book Fair, the Historical Book Fair in Warsaw, and Guadalajara Book Fair. In the frames of the Frankfurt Book Fair, together with our partners, we presented the national stand and a program that included 22 events, as well as a special program for publishers of Ukraine and neighboring countries. We presented the catalog of Ukrainian works recommended for translation into foreign languages, which is based on the platform of the organizers who provided the opportunity to use the platform free of charge for a year. It should be noted that this year over 150 licenses have been sold by Ukrainian publishers to foreign ones. There have also been bright examples of projects to support Ukraine. For example, 50,000 copies of Larisa Denisenko's book Maya and Her Moms were sold, and the foreign publishers allocated all profits to help Ukraine. Despite the war, Ukrainian writers became laureates of numerous awards in 2022. 9 Ukrainian authors were awarded by various literary awards, and among them are Serhiy Zhadan, who won EBRD Literary Prize, Freedom Prize from Frank Schirmacher Foundation, Hannah Arendt Award for Political Thought, International Peace Prize of German Book Traders, Sergio Vieira de Mello Award. Yuri Andruchovich, who won Heinrich Heine Prize, and Eugenia Kuznetsova, who won the special mention of the European Union Prize for Literature. This year, the Ukrainian Book Institute implemented a number of international projects, and the first to tell is about Book Without Borders, project under the patronage of the First Lady of Ukraine, Olena Zelenska, which is aimed at helping Ukrainian children forced to flee Russia's war in Ukraine. 14 Ukrainian publishers gave the Ukrainian Book Institute the permission to use more than 40 original layouts of their books free of charge for printing abroad. More than 268,000 books were printed and distributed within the project in 21 countries from Ireland to Japan. The Federation of European Publishers, together with Polish Education for Democracy Foundation, provided financial assistance in the amount of over 186,000 euros to Ukrainian publishers, which was distributed through the Ukrainian Association of Publishers and Booksellers. Another international projects the Ukrainian Book Institute took part in are Ukrainian Bookshelf, under the patronage of First Lady Olena Zelenska, contributes to stocking foreign libraries with books for Ukrainian refugees. 5,300 books were purchased for libraries in 26 countries. Book Suitcase, project of the Goethe Institute that collected the best books of modern Ukrainian writers and translations from German. Suitcases with more than 20,000 books have reached more than 600 libraries in all German states and Goethe centers in European capitals. Better Time Stories, the project that distributes sets of 5 bilingual books in the Dutch, German, and Ukrainian languages in 5 European countries, and is implemented under the patronage of First Ladies of Ukraine, Germany, Austria, and the Princes of the Netherlands. The bookmark Books for Ukraine gift package with books, a tablet, toys, and stationery for Ukrainian children who left Ukraine to Great Britain. World National Bookshelves in Ukrainian libraries is the project of creating the collection of translations of the world's best works of national literature and fulfilling Ukrainian libraries with those collections. Governmental organizations of Poland, Germany, and France have declared their desire to participate, support, and finance the project. Over 100 titles of literary works with a circulation over 1,500 copies of each title of each interested country will be published in Ukraine. This is the plan for 2023, and in further years we will work to increase the number of participating countries. The Ukrainian Book Institute became the partner of the Federation of European Publishers this year, which unites associations of publishers and book distributors from 29 European countries and contributes to the dissemination of information about Institute's project among foreign players of the book market. Together with the Federation of European Publishers and another 6 foreign partners, the Ukrainian Book Institute started the implementation of the Creative Europe Grant Program Tales of Ukraine project for the development and publishing of more than 40 titles of bilingual books with a total print run of more than 300,000 copies for children aged 3-8 to be distributed among forcibly displaced persons from Ukraine. This year, the Ukrainian Book Institute became the member of NLEAD organization. NLEAD is a network for the promotion of literary translation which unites more than 30 cultural managers from different countries. On the initiative and in cooperation with Polish colleagues, the Ukrainian Book Institute launched a number of online meetings, Ukrainian-Polish dialogue for the sake of books. About 100 Ukrainian publishers, as well as more than 30 Polish publishers and literary agents, took part in the webinar series in total. The Ukrainian Book Institute conducted the list of needs of the Ukrainian book market and spread this list among the representatives of foreign governments and the world book community. And now we wait for a positive decision and a mechanism for implementing these ideas. And we are so much grateful to all our foreign partners for all the support they continue to provide us with.
You've been watching a special project by Ukraine Media Center and Euro-Atlantic course dedicated to the Russian-Ukrainian war, Ukrainian Flames. In the description under this video, you can find information on how you can help Ukraine fight Russian aggression. If you find our work useful, please like and share this video. Glory to Ukraine.